Okay, I don't have a normal video for today, but I have a really quick talk over how you can use the ambiguous case triangles and the law of sines together. So this is one of the homework problems that I assigned today. Basically, it's day 2, and I told kids they could skip. Let's see if I can find that quick. Okay, they actually should do problems 13 and 14. And on number 14, I wanted to warn them that gamma was like a big C. So in other words, that angle, 74.6, goes with C equals 3, the angle on the side opposite it. And then there's another side, little a is 3.05. All right, anyway, do those two. Skip these two because we need to focus on this word problem and that word problem. And then we get to this page. I told them you could skip 35. And then on 37, I told them this is the most important problem. I'm going to talk you through it right now so you get the idea of what we needed to learn for today. For today, it was mostly about how you can have a triangle and have it either set up so that it doesn't work at all, or so it works and turns out to be a right triangle, or how you can make two distinct separate little triangles, or how you could make one really big obtuse triangle. Those are the 4 cases, A, B, C, and D, that you see listed on the board here. And so my tip was this. Once you get it set up like they describe here, we have a 30-degree angle, angle alpha, and then we got B, which should be this side that goes up from that angle, and that's 10. Now, this last little side here, I hope that you can understand that this little side here, if it was too short, you wouldn't have a triangle at all, right? So how do you decide what too short is? Well, what I recommend is that you take this triangle and you figure out what would be just right. So how can we figure out how long that pink triangle side would be if we were to make this into a right triangle? Well, the cool thing is then you've got an angle and you've got a side. And if it's in a right triangle, you can just do trig. So I'm going to call this h for the height. So then I would say that sine of 30, which I happen to have memorized, and you should too, is equal to h over 10. Now, the sine of 30 is equal to 1/2. So 1/2 equals h over 10. Now I'm going to times both sides by 10. And I very quickly get 10 times 1/2 is 5 equals h, or h equals 5. That means that the ideal side length here would have been a 5. That way, you've got a right triangle. And we all know those are easy to do when it comes to trig. Okay, so that's the one that yields a right triangle. And then, do you get if it was shorter than 5, anything less than 5, then you'd have no triangle. Or if it was a little bigger than 5, then you could have 2 triangles. Let's talk about that. So let's say I make it 6. Do you get then that it couldn't fit as a right angle, but it could go off to the side like this, and it would make this triangle right here? Or that same length of 6 side, instead of being where the pink one is, it's too long for that now, I could swing it around and make it be over here. And then I'd have this, oopsie, sorry, this smaller triangle, which would go here, here. So that's the kind where you get 2 distinct triangles, like this. And you might say, well, you're being a little ambiguous there by saying bigger than 5. How much bigger than 5? Well, do you get it can be bigger than 5 all the way up until it hits 10? Because if it's 10, all kinds of special problems kick in. Because if this thing becomes 10, you might be able to have it be 10 in this direction, but you can't have it be 10 in this direction, or it wouldn't form 2 distinct triangles. Because as soon as it's 10 long, I can't go to the left. It's going to overlap with the other side. I could go to the right and get 1 triangle out of that, but that means it has to stay between 5 and 10. And then the last part, part D there, says the information yields exactly 1 obtuse triangle. That's where it gets bigger than 5 and bigger than 10. Because if it's bigger than 10, then you'd have to swing it way over here, and you'd have wouldn't have this pink one here anymore. And then if this is bigger than 10, like let's say it's 12, now that's an obtuse angle, and therefore it's an obtuse triangle. So if it gets bigger than this side here, that's the case. All right, so That's all I have for you for this little replacement video for today.